Hey, what's up? Ian here, and I'm back with another review video, and today I would like to talk about this Hidizs MS1-Galaxy. I've already unboxed this and I did it in a live stream. I did a giveaway. I gave away 5 MS1s, okay, if you guys remember. But for those of you who didn't watch that live stream, too bad, you didn't win any, you didn't get a chance to win. But I'll still leave a link somewhere up here for you guys to go check out. But in this video, I'm going to focus on my sound impression and my review of this Hidizs MS1-Galaxy. Now, a quick recap before I begin. This is a one dynamic driver IEM, and the diaphragm is a 10.2 millimeter PU plus peak composite diaphragm driver. And the retail price for this, for the first 200 orders, is just $10 US. It's basically giving this away. So if I were you, I'll check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. Alright, so let's begin my review. First, let's talk about the accessories, and it comes in a very nice box like this. Okay, very nice box. And on the inside, you'll find ear tips and cables. Now, as for the ear tips, the stock ear tips is actually really nice. I've been using it, as you can see. I've been using the stock ear tips, and I'm pretty happy with the stock ear tips. You know, it does articulate a little bit, okay, and it does give me a very good seal, so I'm using it. The quality of the silicone is also not bad, so yeah, I like the ear tips. Now, in terms of cable, I mean, these are stock cables. It's a 2-core cable, and it's braided, and it's upgraded, I would say. It's not those cheap looking silicone cable. So I would say this cable, right, in terms of the color and in terms of the overall feel and the softness of the cable, is actually pretty good for stock cable. So I don't mind using this. It looks pretty elegant lah, okay. So yeah, very nice stock cable. Alright, so that's for the accessories. That's all you get for 10 bucks actually. Now let's talk about the design and build quality of these earphones, and I would say they are pretty typical IEM shape, but the faceplate is quite unique. It's got this holographic look to it on the faceplate, as you can see, and it comes in a few colors. It's got black, it's got blue and red, and some transparent. This is the transparent one, and overall design of it is pretty standard lah, okay. Now, in terms of build quality, this is actually made from the German Macrolon type of resin, right? And quality of it is actually not bad. You know, it feels pretty nice to the touch. So yeah, very well built for 10 bucks. And also the QC check on this, and the quality of the workmanship is actually really good, because this is clear, transparent shell. You can see the inside, and you can see the driver as well, and you can see that there's not much glue smear and all that. So yeah, in terms of workmanship, is pretty nice. Okay, right, so that's for the design and build quality. Now let's talk about the fit and comfort, and I mean, it's typical IEM shape. And one thing about this ear hooks, it looks quite stiff, right? But actually it's pretty good. I've been wearing it, and it does not try to tug the IEM out from my ear. So actually, yeah, it's not bad, you know, for stock cable. I don't mind using the stock cable, and it fits my ear pretty well. It goes, the nozzle is actually just nice in terms of the length of the nozzle, and the shape of the overall inner shell is actually pretty nice as well. So fits my ear pretty nice, and also it gives me a pretty good seal. Okay, so that's for the overall fit and comfort and seal. Now let's talk about sound. First, let's talk about the drivability of this IEM, and I've been listening to this at about 50% volume, and I've been using it on my iPhone, my iPad, and all my dongles and my DAPs, and no issues driving this. Works well with most of my source. Okay, so pretty okay to drive. I wouldn't say it's the easiest to drive, but it's pretty okay to drive. Now, in terms of gear matching, I would recommend gears that are warm sounding, musical sounding, more rounded in terms of the overall delivery of the source of the sound. Things like the iPods or the Sonys, they will match these earphones pretty well. Okay, now in terms of the tone and timbre, now these are fun. right? They sound casual, they are musical as well. They sound musical and overall very heavy in note weight and very warm sounding as well. So overall, a very casual listening experience on these earphones. Okay. Now, in terms of technical performance, these are fantastic for 10 bucks, right? You're getting this 10 bucks, right? And the overall delivery of the sound is quite a resolving earphone for $10. They sound really good. Okay, now in terms of soundstage, they are pretty wide, okay, wide, and it's got good distance as well, and good landscape in terms of the overall layout of the soundstage. Sound separation and imaging is above average, right? I can identify the left and right channel in terms of my instruments. I can tell that it's on this side, it's on this side, and overall sound separation is reasonable, right? It's pretty decent. Now, in terms of detail retrieval, these are not the detail monsters. Okay, so basically the tuning of this is fun, right? It's a V-shaped tuned IEM, and most of the sound that I hear, or the frequency that I hear, is the bass and of course the treble, and the mids are recessed. So because the mids are recessed, they are not the prominent frequency, I lose a lot of details there. Okay, now in terms of resolution, these are very resolving, right, for the price, right? This is a very resolving earphone. It's just that the tuning of it makes it sounds a bit muted in terms of the overall clarity. Okay, but actually it's a very resolving earphone. Okay, so that's for the technicalities. Now let's talk about sound signature and the overall tuning of these earphones. I'll show my graph somewhere up here, and as you can see from the graph, right, this is a very typical V-shaped tuned IEM. Bass is the prominent frequency here, and bass is very elevated. Okay, so if you look at the graph, but the bass, right, the sub bass is a little bit rolled off, right? It's not a very extended sub bass. So when you hear the rumble, right, it's a good rumble, right? Warm, very thick, and very prominent as well, but it does not linger on for a long time, right? Basically, you can hear it and it rolls off pretty quickly. Right, but it's a very thick and very engaging rumble, and sometimes it rattles my heads or rattles my brains, whatever. But yeah, it's got a very strong and prominent rumble. Now, in terms of the mid bass, is really thumpy. The punch and the impact is really strong. I can feel it, and it does give me a very strong impact on these earphones. So yeah, bass, I would say, is a very, very strong foundation, and I think it's the main frequency in the entire tuning. So if you're a bass head, well, these are not really bass head IEMs, right? But the emphasis is still on the bass and the mid bass to be exact. So you've got a very thick bass shelf, and if you like that kind of thick bass kind of presence, then this IEM is for you. Okay, now in terms of the mids, because of the bass, right, you get a lot of bass, emphasis on the bass, then your mids will be a bit veiled by the overall bass, right? So my instruments like the pianos, they sound very thick at the bottom end, but at the top end, you know, the overall clarity of it is veiled by the bass in terms of the details as well. So yeah, not a very detailed mids in terms of the clarity of it, but it's, well, expected because of the nature of that bass shelf. Okay, so violins and pianos and guitars, actually, you know, they sound a bit, well, recessed lah. Okay, basically. Now for vocals, male vocals, they sound really good on this, and they have got very textured presence, very thick and very authoritative presence in the mix. But for female vocals, they sound recessed, even though they sound quite bright, quite energetic, and overall very good presence, but they sound a little bit, I mean, the sparkle is a bit lacking there, but they sound bright and energetic. Alright, so that's for female vocals. For the treble is actually a very safe treble if you ask me. The peanut gain to the treble is very safe, right? There's no shoutiness, there's no harshness, a very good glide, a very good transition to the treble, and overall a very pleasing transition to the treble. And overall, it's also a very safe, non-fatiguing type of treble when I listen to my songs or my tracks. They don't sound sibilant, they don't sound harsh, they sound bright as well, they sound energetic. Cymbal strikes and the hi-hats and the crashes and the shakers, they sound very natural in terms of the brightness and the overall roll-off and the trail-off of the cymbal strikes and all that. So yeah, very safe treble. Okay, so overall, I would say this is a very fun and very easy to use type of earphone, and I would say that the genre that this is suitable for is, well, I listen to a lot of EDM on this, trance, techno, rock, okay, and pop. Most mainstream music is actually really suitable for this. R&B, right? R&B, and they sound really good with these genre of music. In terms of classical and instrumental, I mean, I tried to listen to classical and instrumental on this. They sound a little bit too thick on the bottom, and it didn't really gel with me in terms of classical. So yeah, it's a little bit too warm for me in terms of those kind of genre. So yeah, this, I would say, mainstream music sounds really good, and overall a very musical set, and it's really thick as well in terms of the bass. Okay, so in terms of price to performance, $10. This is an easy recommendation from me, and my star rating for this is 3 stars out of 5 stars. Okay, so that's my star rating and my overall review and impression of this Hidizs MS1-Galaxy. And that also concludes my overall review of this Hidizs MS1-Galaxy. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right? So I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.